How's it going? Thanks for taking time to talk to me.
Yeah, dude. Sorry, the internet at this venue kind of sucks.
See, you're already big timing with Venue. You guys are at a venue. I'm sitting here at Sideshow Networks with off-brand bottled water.
Ooh.
Yeah, I know. So I'm talking to Alex and Jack from Full Frontal, the podcast, and you have like a tiny little band that you do on the side, you know, a few hours a month called All Time Low.
Yeah, it's sort of like a side project that we're really trying to get going.
You know, guys, don't waste your time. You know what I mean?
You know,
it's hard.
My mom's been really backing it hard. Both from a loving mother standpoint and also financially.
Yeah.
So it's really been, she's been really wonderful, and you know, she pays for our private jet flights and things like that. So it makes doing it a lot easier, considering that money is tough right now and the podcast is not doing well.
She's like just a human Kickstarter.
She's sort of like an Oprah Winfrey type. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. You already have the band. You really need a podcast too. I mean, can you leave something for the rest of us? I mean, some of us don't have rock bands.
I don't know why we started it, to be honest. It started over at a different network, and it was sort of brought to us as an idea to just kind of create an extension of the nonsense that we talk about between songs on stage. And it over time developed a following and developed into something a little bit more. It's a little more structured now. It's always funny if you go back and listen to like season 1 as compared to season, I guess we're on season 5 now, whatever that means. There's definitely a lot more of concept there now, which helps for whatever that's worth. It's still a very loose concept, but yeah, it's come along, and obviously now we share a network, which is cool. And yeah, it's again, it's not going well for us.
No. I mean, I know that. I'm not trying to. I mean, I just got a new iPhone 6s Plus. That when you look at me and you see that phone, that you know I'm doing well. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That screams success.
Yeah.
How do you like it?
It's pretty good. I look at all 6 of my Instagram followers. Like it's really big. Like I can see that number 6, and it's like huge number 6. Nope, actually it's 5. I just lost one. I keep checking.
I have a modded iPod Mini, and it's just a phone as well.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at your podcast titles. You kind of, I mean, I'm assuming that you kind of take it's the same road a lot of people like. I make YouTube videos, and the titles, are the ones that get people's attention sometimes. And like the episode called Guy-Brader.
Yeah, a lot of the titles kind of just come from. It's sort of the same way we name our albums. Like the episode will come together, and then there'll be sort of a line that one of us said. Like in the case of our albums, it's oftentimes a line from a song or a song title. And in the case of the podcast, it's like, Jack will just say some ridiculous thing, or I'll say some ridiculous thing, and we're like, that's the perfect episode.
Even though it has nothing to do with the actual episode itself.
Yes.
Which I like. I like that.
No, I love a good bait and switch. Like, I like being lied to, so that's great. I mean, it's one of my favorites.
It's the old clickbait thing. We're taking a lot of cues from BuzzFeed.
Listen, I made videos called Butter Dick, and people will click on a video called Butter Dick. You know what I mean?
You got to at least say Butter Dick once.
Oh no, there is a butter. It's about a girl who's hot, Butter Dick. And it's an interactive video, yeah.
See, that gets people asking questions. Now I want to know the story, and your ratings are going up.
Dibs on band name Butter Dick, by the way.
Butter Dick is a good.
I mean, you have What's Wrong with My Balls? I mean,
that's actually a legitimate fear that there is something wrong with them. So I'm nervous.
Again, that was an on-topic discussion.
Can you help me?
Well, no, I'm going to spin it. I'm going to be like Johnny Positive over here. Let's talk about what's right with your balls.
Yeah, not a lot. I don't have any kids, so
right.
They might not work, actually. I don't even know if they're.
Jack's balls are impressive. We talked about this on our show, and we might as well talk about it on here too, because it should be celebrated. He has really, really nice large balls. Like it's
symmetrical.
That's not appealing to a girl though. Like girls aren't like, oh yeah, that dude has huge balls.
No, I think it is. I think anyone that's looking at you in an interested sexual way would put stock in your balls.
They make the whole package look better, right?
I mean, are they symmetrical?
No.
They are.
Guys,
they are.
I live in Hollywood, California. Symmetry is everything.
Jack is being modest. His balls are a work of art.
Because they say Denzel Washington's face, the reason he's so good looking is his face is really symmetrical. So if your balls are like Denzel Washington's face, you're good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have had my balls compared to Denzel Washington before. It's not the first time.
He's the Denzel Washington of scrotums.
Is it because they're black or because they're symmetrical?
Super symmetrical.
It can be both. You know, they say pics are GTFO. That's what the kids are saying. I listen to the kids.
We'll send some pictures over for the sidebar when you post this up.
Yeah, because right now we're talking via Skype. Because we were in person, we'd be like fist bumping, Snapchatting.
Right. It would almost be there would almost be too much of a good vibe.
Yeah, it would. So like I was also reading what you got your name was from Newfound Glory.
Yeah.
Wanted a little story how we're connected. I had a band back in the day, and we were supposed to open for Newfound Glory in Connecticut at a skate park, and they canceled, so we canceled. So we're pretty much all. I mean, we're pretty much kind of all best. Just give me your phone numbers. Just give me your phone numbers.
We've been on a worldwide tour at this point. That's pretty much what you're saying.
Yeah. Now I'm gonna ask kind of because I like music. You guys do music and a podcast, but would you say like if you were on tour and you're on the tour bus or tour jet or tour teleportation machine, whatever it is, to get to the Warped Tour? Do they still do Warped Tour, or am I totally out of touch? Warped Tour still happens, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay, I went to the first 4 Warped Tours. The first 4.
Damn, you see like Sublime?
I have seen Sublime. I saw Blink-182 before people like them. I saw Sublime. I mean, I didn't care, but I was into hardcore. Like that was my thing, like hardcore punk. So I was like, Sublime, I don't like this. Then I moved to California, and I'm like, oh, I get it.
That's awesome, though. Those were the glory days.
Oh
Pennywise.
Yeah. I saw. I mean, there's just bands I wanted to see, and then there was.
Did you catch No Doubt on Warped Tour by any chance?
I believe that I did, but I may not have cared. I thought I was really cool. I was just like, I like hardcore.
Right, you weren't into it. I get that, but that's cool though. It's cool that you were part of those years. I was probably 6 when that happened.
Yeah, I was 38. But right now I'm 19 when I talk to you guys.
Benjamin Button.
But it's kind of like a mid. It stops. It's like a midway Benjamin Buttons. It doesn't go all the way back. Like if you like listen to music, like what? Give me a couple, like 5 on like the kind of like punk, hardcore kind of, I guess, and then a couple that are like not that at all, like other genres of music. That
of, of our favorite bands?
Yeah, that you like listen to on a tour bus where like nobody's gonna get like, please don't play this anymore. Greg.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the other guys in the band. I'm Greg, Don.
Greg and Don?
Yeah, Greg and Don.
Greg and Don.
I'm really into, I don't know, going back, I was really into the Cars. I'm really into NoFX. Green Day was a big one for me growing up. Super into...
right now there's a lot of Muse going on backstage.
Jack's playing a lot of Muse backstage, and it's making me feel super proggy when I go out on stage. I want to rip solos and fist pump.
I saw, and again, I'm going to talk about how young I am. I saw what I believe is Green Day's first East Coast show.
Oh shit!
And they were going to stay with us. Like that's how long ago this was. And then they met some chicks, and then they did not stay with us. But I mean, I like Green Day 7-inches. Like that I wish I still kept because I probably could have sold them and bought another iPhone. I could have bought another iPhone S Plus.
You need 2.
Oh, I need a burner. You know, for all like the guys, we all have groupies. You guys have groupies, right? Is that the word you use, or am I totally out of touch?
Dude, you know what gets played backstage a lot, and me and Alex always blasted, and everyone seems to be pissed except for us, is One Direction.
I mean, I went and I saw their movie. I think it's good. I mean, they're catchy. Some of the songs are good. I mean, I don't know if it's a good song. It's a good song.
That new record's feeling super bandy. I dig it.
The new one.
I dig it.
Yeah.
I don't know. They have that song that just came out. It dragged me down. It's got like a Police feel to it, like the bass line and stuff. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, love.
And they're handsome boys too.
They are. You know what I mean? But I mean, not as handsome as the Full Frontal podcast that you listen to. That's very handsome.
Thank you. I'm glad you said it.
Do you guys listen to your own podcast when you're on tour? You're like, oh, let's hear our voices again.
No, I get super self-conscious about that stuff.
I've never actually listened to one before.
Yeah, I never.
Well, you were there, right? Like, I don't listen. I make YouTube videos, and I was like, I don't need to watch it. I was there. I don't want to look at myself.
Do you edit it?
No. I'm extremely rich and famous, so I have people.
You have an editing staff.
Oh yeah.
I mean, honestly, I think that's the way to do it, because otherwise you get too self-critical and weird, and it starts to become a little contrived. Like earlier on, I used to listen back when our drummer Ryan edits them for us, and kind of we have another guy Jeff who's always worked with us on the podcast, and he basically always proof listens for us to make sure we didn't say anything that's gonna put us in prison.
You put all your trust in these guys, so hopefully they don't let you down.
See, if I was editing it,
I can't stand the sound of my own voice, so I try to avoid it.
If I was editing your stuff, I would just be like, I'd stop and I'd be like, subscribe to Jason Horton, youtube.com/Jason Horton. And I would put that in like every like 10, 15 minutes, and you guys would never know. And then I would just get all that traffic, all that yummy traffic, that full frontal traffic.
Ryan's been throwing in links to his GoFundMe account that we don't know about.
Listen, you know what I mean? That's just being an entrepreneur.
Smart. That's the way to make money these days. That's if you want to have 2 or more iPhone 6 Plus S's. That's the way to do it.
So I also heard that you guys have your own Gmail account.
The podcast does, yeah. Gmail was kind enough to let us have an account with them.
Big timing it.
Yeah.
Big timing it.
Yeah, Mr. Google himself said, "Here you go, guys."
Oh yeah. Donovan Google.
It's Donovan M. Google.
Yes. The M is silent.
Enough to let us have it, and it's actually kind of cool because it's opened up a lot of stuff for us with the podcast. You know, there's a little bit of a caveat. You know, we talk about poop, like boobies and wieners and stuff. So there's a bit of a like must be 18 or older to chat, but it's cool because it's connected us with the audience, and it's fun to be able to give really convoluted, weird, bad advice to people when they need it. And
it's weird that people start like once you have like a voice, it's weird that people start asking for advice as if like we know anything.
We have no idea what we're doing, so that's always the little we have to clarify before we start giving people advice that it's bad advice and they shouldn't listen to us.
I know it's bad advice because you went from the word caveat to balls and peepees. In a sentence, so I know it's trouble.
I like to play both sides of the coin.
Yeah. Maria, who's in here, she's doing the engineering. She wanted me to ask you guys. No, she did. She begged me, and I was just like, come on, leave the guys alone. They're my friends. Okay, they're gonna give me their phone numbers. If you could, if there's like, who's like the shy one? Like, who's the rebel? Like, who's the party one, and who's like the bookkeeper? Like, could you do that for the guys in the band?
Easily. We're like Ninja Turtles.
I always sort of I stack us up to the Ninja Turtles every time. Ryan is definitely Donatello. He's the engineer. He's sitting back with his laptop. Jack would be Michelangelo. Really only cares about pizza and puka shell necklaces. Zach is kind of the moody, quiet, but also really like probably the strongest and most badass on the squad. So he's the Raphael of the group, and then that leaves me being the guy that tells everyone what to do.
Alex is Splinter.
I'm the bossy one. I'm Krang. I'm the weird pink brain guy that rides around in a buff guy robot suit.
I thought the music industry would be Splinter. The greedy music industry.
No, bro. The critics are Shredder, man. Let me break this down for you. The critics are the Foot Clan, and
yeah. What am I in it? I guess I'm getting it. The hot one.
Oh yeah. Who's the
April?
You can be April.
All right, cool. But like a hot April. Like a hotter Megan Fox than the new one.
How are your thumbs?
Guys, there's 2 of you and I got 2 thumbs. Just letting you know, there's enough to go around. Are you guys currently on tour?
Yeah, we're in Tulsa, Oklahoma today. So that's why the Wi-Fi is kind of crappy, and I'm sorry if our connection's bad.
Because it's like country time Wi-Fi, right?
They don't get a whole lot of Wi-Fi out here.
Who are you on tour with?
We are currently out with a band called Sleeping with Sirens, and then there's the 2 support acts are Neck Deep from the UK, and then this rad Japanese band called One OK Rock.
What are some of like the bands you've gone on tour with? You're like, oh my god, this is amazing. Not the current ones aren't amazing, but ones you were like, this is so cool.
I mean, for us, we did a long run with Green Day in Europe, and we went to Russia for the first time with them. And obviously, just as a guy that grew up on their music, like Kerplunk was one of the first albums I bought and things. So I mean, that was amazing for us. They were super nice guys and treated us really well. And it's cool to see a band that's, that big on a global scale, still treat their opening acts with kindness and respect and stuff. It was very refreshing to see that. Getting to know the Blink guys has been really cool as well for that same reason. A lot of those veteran bands that we kind of grew up listening to and then have now had the chance to sort of call them our friends, Less Than Jake, NoFX, all those dudes that sort of brought us into the fold and treated us well and kind of gave us a chance to grow with them. That was always really cool. And then the Wonder Years guys are some of my favorite dudes. They just put out a new record, so I wanna mention them because I love those guys.
I feel like Less Than Jake is on anytime I see like a Warped Tour, I feel like Less Than Jake has always been on the lineup.
They embraced it. Yeah. I mean, they've spent a lot of summers on there. I think there was a set of years, maybe like 2010 to 2012 that I think we did pretty much every Warped Tour with them. I love those guys.
Yeah, I think the cool thing about Les and Jake is you're never getting the same show, and we learn out a lot from them because on stage, they have a new show every day where they're interacting with the fans, and I think that's something that we kind of admire. Like they're always kind of a party on stage.
Totally.
Have you had any weird fan things happen?
Ooh, that's every day.
Yeah, I mean, Jack's mom she won't really stop calling my phone or coming to my house when I'm home.
Yeah.
So that's getting concerning. No, we've definitely had a couple weird ones. There were some, on a serious note, there was a weird one where I had just gotten home from tour. We flew home and we had been gone for months and I found out that there was some chick sitting in my front yard hiding in a bush, taking pictures through my windows and stuff right when I got home. So that was real creepy. And then we've had people sort of sneak their way onto the bus or backstage and act a little strange. That's always the unnerving stuff because it's when you're on the road for as long as we are, we're on tour sometimes 300 days out of the year, and your life and your home and your private life sort of become the bus and backstage and things like that. And so anytime someone sort of invades that space, it can be really daunting because you're just man, I have nowhere to go right now. I don't have a safe zone anymore. So every now and then it gets a little weird, but fortunately, most of our fans are really rad and respectful and cool, and we haven't had too many crazy things, I don't think.
Do you when you're on tours? Do you document everything? Do you keep up on social media or do you just here's where our show is? Because I think a lot of that when you put a lot of that you put some Instagram, Snapchat, or Twitter or whatever, people feel like they know you because you're constantly kind of sharing with them what's going on. So when they meet you or see you, they feel like they know you even though you know nothing about them. And that's something I've learned from YouTube because it's just a lot of output and you really know nothing about the people on the other end.
Oh, for sure. I mean, the world we live in right now with social media and everything, having a podcast and like you said, having videos on YouTube and things people definitely do get this idea that they know you through and through and
they get very comfortable with you and they feel like they can say a lot of things, which, is usually fine. But sometimes it's whoa, what?
Yeah. So there's definitely times where that comfort level sort of ends up becoming this weird blurred line of what's appropriate and what's not. But I think a lot of people know that there's sort of two sides to us as people. We have a very jokey and sarcastic side that we put out there a lot. And then we also, at the same time, we are real people. So it's I think people are getting good at knowing when we're dicking around and when we're not, which is definitely helpful to our cause because I think, if people thought we were always being serious with what we said or vice versa, I think we'd confuse a lot of people or offend them.
Are you guys going on a podcast tour as well?
We are. We're trying to. We're going to try it out. It's actually starting tomorrow, which is pretty rad. We had never thought to kind of do the podcast in front of a live audience, but this tour sort of came down to being the perfect time for it, and Sideshow Network had access to all these rad comedy clubs to do it in those clubs. And so, yeah, we kind of put feelers out there and asked fans if they'd be into seeing it live and being a part of it. And it'll obviously change the dynamic of the show a lot because I think there'll be a lot more crowd interaction and things. But Yeah, so the first one's tomorrow, and I'm nervous for it because I don't know how it's gonna go. We've never done it before.
Yeah, I've done. I mean, this thing called VidCon, which is like a YouTube conference. I did podcast live, and I'm like, no one's gonna want to watch this. Kids don't care about podcasts. It's just you know what I mean. It's just for like I don't know, like I like NPR or whatever. But they do. They love it. I mean, it depends on the I mean, they're not there for me because they're in it for the guests. They couldn't care less about me. I'm just like
that's not
nothing.
True.
It's nothing. I'm nothing. Are you coming to LA?
Yeah, we are. We'll be out that way. I think it's on the 22nd that we're doing the one out there at the
Improv. I think.
The Improv.
Yeah, Improv.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, of course I can come, guys.
Please be there.
We'll put you on the list just in case.
Will you come on the show?
Yeah, can you put me on the list plus 19?
Absolutely. Well, no one's bought any tickets, so we have a ton of empty seats.
Okay, so yeah, then a list plus 9. You know what? Actually, just make it 18 because I don't think she's gonna call me back.
I'm gonna make it 19 because God knows we need to fill those seats.
But it's just you guys aren't doing any music. Like, are you gonna like bust out and like play one of your songs acoustic, like and tell a little story about like, or is it you're just podcasting?
It's a good question.
We're not planning much, which could be terrible or great. But I think that's the beauty about doing something like this live is anything could happen or nothing can happen. So
yeah, I think a lot of it's going to come down to fan interaction and yeah, like if it's seeming stale, I'm sure there are ways that we can make it interesting.
I'll start heckling. Guys, do not worry. If there's a dip in anything, I will make my presence known.
Please, for the love of God, heckle us. We want it. We encourage it.
So you have a full frontal that's on SoundCloud and iTunes.
Yes.
From the Sideshow Network with Friends Without Benefits. This show, we're all in the same family. Again, send me your phone numbers. Actually, just put your phone numbers. Just say it on the air. And bank routing information and social security stuff, just so we know each other better. It
wouldn't be called a social security number if it wasn't meant to be shared with people socially.
Yeah, it's social. It's like social media, but it's
social security number.
Yeah, it's just like giving out your Snapchats.
Totally. I'm gonna post mine later.
And I'll find it. I'll find it on the Snapchats because that's where all the inside stuff is. And then you could find it's alltimelow.com/gov.
Yeah, alltimelow.gov is really the
.edu.
.edu. And then your LinkedIn is linkedin.com/alltimelow biz. Listen, my brother met his girlfriend on LinkedIn. She hit him up on LinkedIn like straight up. I make LinkedIn jokes, and this girl straight up was like, "Hey, what's up?" to my brother.
Wait, that really happened?
I make LinkedIn jokes all the time. Like I was like, the girl broke up with me over LinkedIn, but this girl hit up my brother over LinkedIn.
That's incredible.
Yes.
That's the only time I've ever heard of anyone using LinkedIn and like having any kind of success with it.
Yeah.
I am gonna go postal the next time I get a LinkedIn invite.
It might be from me to kind of warm you up. Well, guys, thanks so much. Good luck on the tour, and you won't. Not that you need it.
We do.
No, I jinxed you guys. Now I jinxed you guys. I'm looking forward to the podcast tour where we're hanging out and just like fist bumping like crazy. I want to thank you guys. Yeah, thanks Full Frontal, All Time Low for being on. Make sure to tell Don and Greg I said hello.
I know. We'll let Don and Greg know that you said what's up. They're gonna be super excited.
Yeah. I want to thank Alex and Jack, and this is the Friends Without Benefits podcast.
Love you.
Bye.
Thanks for having us, dude.
No, thanks for being on, guys.
Absolutely. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much.